What's good, YouTube? Ben here. Welcome to the next video on the channel. In this one, I'm going to give you my next Steel Path viable build on Warframe. This is going to be for Dread. Let's get into this. Right, so Dread is one of those weapons that got heavily boosted when it got its Incarnate form. So I'm going to go through the build in a moment, but I'm going to go through the Incarnate evolutions that I've picked. So let's jump in. Evolution 1 is where you get its Incarnate form, so it gets you to use its alt fire to transmutate the weapon. But the bonus of it is it sacrifices silence for increased projectile size and heat damage. So it gives it AoE, not to mention heat procs as well. We've got Evolution 2, Hitman's Opportunity, increased base damage by plus 70 and 100% damage to enemies below half health. Evolution 3, Swift Deliverance, which is 30% projectile speed. And Evolution 4, Survivor's Edge, increased base critical chance by 10% and increased base status chance by 10%. So I've gone for a critical status mix build, which you're going to see in a moment. So, for the build, Galvanized Chamber for 80% multi-shot on kill plus 30% multi-shot for 20 seconds stacks up to 5 times. Galvanized Aptitude for 80% status chance and on kill plus 40% direct damage per status type affecting the target for 20 seconds stacks up to 2 times. Vial Acceleration for 90% fire rate times 2 for bows and then negative 15% damage. The fire rate is just ridiculous on this thing, and for the little bit of damage fall off, it's quite nice. Critical delay for 200% critical chance, negative 20% fire rate times 2 for bows, so it goes to negative 40%, but thanks to Vial Acceleration, the charge time's still ridiculously fast. We've got Hammer Shot for 60% critical damage and 80% status chance. We've got Vital Sense for 120% critical damage. We've got Rhyme Rounds for 60% cold and 60% status chance, and Malignant Force for 60% toxin and 60% status chance. So the cool thing is, on its base form, it does viral only thanks to this build, but when it's in its Incarnate form, it deals heat and viral, which is great, because that's going to give you 2 statuses to proc with Galvanized Aptitude to give you more damage. Not to mention, with just the basic stuff, it's got 180% critical chance, so it always crits. 5.6 times critical multiplier, and then 114% status. So it's always going to land at least 1 status, and it's always going to crit, which is incredibly insane, considering the amount of damage it can pull off. We've also got Primary Merciless in the Arcane slot, so rank 5 on kill, plus 30% damage for 4 seconds, stacks up to 12 times, plus 30% reload speed, which doesn't matter for a bow. But I tried Primary Deadhead. I just find it a bit too inconsistent if you're not always getting headshots. Same with Galvanized Scope. The thing is with bows, is because there's such a low-size projectile normally, it can be quite tricky to hit headshots all the time. So I just went for Merciless, but you can put in Galvanized Scope if you wanted to remove Hammer Shot, and then to get more critical chance, which it doesn't need, and then add that on in the Arcane slot. But let's jump into the mission. I'll show you what this thing can do. Alright, as per usual, we're here at Oxsmoker in the Void, and I'll quickly explain why we're here. So the Void is one of the latest game areas of the game, so you're dealing with the Corrupted, and with the Corrupted, you're dealing with enemies with just health, enemies with health and shields, and enemies with high armor, giving you a more varied example of what your weapon/Warframe can do. Another thing I want to point out, I should have shown that before, really, but the Warframe I'm using, Atlas Prime, he has Archon shards on, but nothing that boosts anything primary. 4 of them increase melee critical damage, and then 1 of them gives him energy at the start of the mission. But let's jump into this. I do want to quickly point out as well that these, I label them as Steel Path viable builds because they are viable for you to use on the Steel Path. Are they going to get you to level cap, which is level 9,999 enemies? Probably not. But are they going to get you through Steel Path? Yes. As you can see, we're always landing crits, and then of course, thanks to our build, we're basically just absolutely dominating every enemy that pops up. So you don't really have to worry about any enemies living long enough to tell the tale. And even if they do, another cool thing is, because of the viral procs, I need to turn this down, because this is really loud. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I do apologize if I was blowing your ear off, but I just noticed in my mixer that it was really loud, so hopefully this calms it down a bit. But as you can see, the amount of damage you get off on the shots on this thing are incredibly good. And the majority of the time, even without headshots, you are 1 or 2 shotting. Like, that one lived, but then he went because of the damage from heat and viral. Come back here, you. Now, of course, to activate the Incarnate form, you need to land headshots. But thanks to the insanely fast charge time, you just get damage after damage after damage with this build. Now, for anyone wondering why I'm not running hunting munitions, there's no point. You don't need it. The thing with hunting munitions is it's such a great mod, but at the same time, if it's unnecessary, there's no point running it. Like, in this instance, because the damage output's just so high, you don't need to run it at all. Because look, as you can see, we're absolutely destroying everything. As per usual, I will stay in long enough to get to the Acolyte, just so you see what this thing does to Acolytes. Spoiler alert, works really well. As you could probably already gather. The thing is, this is one of those weapons, it's tough to say much about it because of how good it is now. See, Dread for years, I've always loved bows. Bows are some of my favorite weapons in the game. But the issue with a lot of bows is they had a lot of fall-off before the Incarnate stuff, because take Paris Prime, for example. That's like the main bow that most people have used. But before on Steel Path, it just didn't stack up because of damage fall-off. But nowadays, with its Incarnate evolution, it's just ridiculously good. Like, you're freely able to just go on Steel Path with any of these weapons now and just absolutely dominate. Another cool thing as well is building up the Incarnate form really does not take very long at all. Like, it just doesn't take long. Like, you can have it built up in literally like 2 shots. And because it's a bow, getting ammo for it really isn't that bad either. Right, here comes the Acolyte. Quite early too, actually. Right, I need to bring him down. Let's go. Boom, gone. There we go. So quite a big easy clap takeout for the Acolyte, which is very nice. But let me know what you think about this build in the comments down below. Don't forget you can support the channel completely for free just by liking, commenting, and subscribing. It really helps that YouTube algorithm. Don't forget you can also support the channel even further by becoming a channel member from as little as 99 pence per month. And don't forget I do live stream. When I go live here on YouTube and over on Twitch and on TikTok all at the same time. My streams here on YouTube are in the shorts form feed, so more for mobile. If you want to catch the exact same streams at the exact same time in full 1080p, feel free to join me on Twitch or TikTok. Those links are in the description below.